Hello and welcome to this week's episode of FDN. I'm super excited to give my congratulations to the Colors of Jazz, which is our school jazz choir, for those of you who do not know. We received first place at the Soul and Jazz Festival, we excelled at the Kirkwood Festival, and we made it to the Vocal Jazz Championships, which is a huge honor and we're all super excited for it. Thank you so much for tuning in to watch this episode of FDN. Hello and welcome to this week's segment of LMCSD News. This week I'm not going to talk about anything that directly pertains to school, but it helps a lot when you're using your thinking cap. Something I've been struggling a lot with lately is getting enough sleep. Now every person has their own kind of amount of sleep they need, but generally you need around 8 hours of sleep. In the past 3 days I've gotten like 2.5 hours of sleep in 3 days. If you don't get enough sleep, it makes it really hard to concentrate, really hard to understand what's going on. I know when I'm really tired, I laugh about stupid stuff and say stupid stuff all the time. So not sleeping when it comes to school is really bad because you're gonna screw everything up. All your work's gonna be late and you're gonna fail high school, and then you're just gonna be a hobo for the rest of your life. Your entire life will fail if you don't get any sleep. Now if you really do struggle sleeping, you can always talk to your doctor, they'll help you out. Or meditation to kind of calm down your mind and your body and get you a little more relaxed to try to fall asleep. Please sleep. Don't stay up all night playing video games. Don't stay up all night doing homework. Just sleep. You can do it in the morning. I know you won't do it in the morning, but sleep is so much more important. This wasn't like most of the episodes I usually do, but I just haven't slept at all, and I felt like it was really important to tell you guys that you need to sleep. So when you get off school today, go home, just take a nap.
This week's episode of Politics is gonna be a tough one. 2 weeks ago, on Valentine's Day, another school shooting took place, leaving 17 dead. This one in Parkland, Florida. Rather than just being another senseless tragedy, the students of Stoneman Douglas High School are determined to finally put a stop to all of these senseless shootings. Organizing rallies, protests, and school walkouts nationwide, these students have sparked an actual conversation about gun control, one that doesn't look like it's going to go away anytime soon. They even organized an official CNN town hall where students and parents talked face-to-face with Florida Senator Marco Rubio and NRA Representative Dana Loesch. Some of their words even hit a little close to home.
Just like Tinker v. Des Moines, we are going to change the law. That's going to be Marjorie Stoneman Douglas in that textbook, and it's all going to be due to the tireless effort of the school board, the faculty members, the family members, and most importantly, the students. Republican Senator Chuck Grassley of Iowa was the sole sponsor on this bill that stops the FBI from performing background checks on people adjudicated to be mentally ill, and now...
Which helps to remind us that this is an issue that affects everybody in this country. Now, major travel agencies like Delta, United, Hertz, and Enterprise have gotten involved in the conversation by ending benefits for NRA members. Even Dick's Sporting Goods has said that they will now stop selling assault-style weapons. Now, before I inevitably start to talk about my own political views on this issue, I'd like to pay respects to all of those who were lost as a result of another shooting. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.
The process of taking a test starts with enough studying to make you feel comfortable and a good night's sleep. Pulling an all-nighter before a test is definitely not the way to go, and if you absolutely think you have to cram before a big test, you should aim for 3 hours of sleep at the very least. When it comes to the test, make sure you have the proper writing utensil for the test. It might not be the best idea to use a pen for a math test. It's also nice to have more than one writing utensil, but it really isn't necessary. When you get the test, the first thing that you should do is put your name on it. You can't get that amazing grade you worked so hard for if your teacher doesn't know whose test it is. Next, it's usually a good idea to look over the test to see what you're dealing with, and to get a feel of the correct pace you should be working at. When you're taking the test, make sure you read the question so that you understand it. Read it twice if you have to. Don't be afraid to ask your teacher to clarify a question if you don't understand it. They're more than happy to help you and want to see you do well just as much as you do. And if you don't know the answer to a question, don't be afraid to skip it. Spending 5 minutes on a question you don't know is a recipe for disaster. It's better to skip the question and come back to it when you have time. It's also a good idea to mark answers you weren't sure about to come back to them as well. After you're done with the test, look over your answers to make sure that you didn't make a mistake somewhere. It really stinks when you get a test back and realize you glossed over an easy question and missed the points for it. Finally, when you get your test back, don't just look at the score and throw it in the recycling. If you did well, great! Remember what you did to prepare for the test and pat yourself on the back. If you didn't do well, try to figure out why you didn't. Did you misread a question? Did you forget to answer one? Did you need to study more? Looking at what you did well on a test and what you need to improve on can be the saving grace for the next test down the road. We all learn differently and need to prepare for a test differently. It's important to find out what works for you and work from there.
Question corner. We're back with questions, and we're gonna answer them today, right now. Let's go. First question. I don't know what way I'm supposed to. Gassed up. Snay way. Read that.
Gassed up, shoddy. Welcome to our party. Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah, checks out.
How does it feel to be awesome? It is just amazing. And when I feel awesome, everyone else feels awesome. So therefore, we're all awesome, right?
Left.
Okay. Whatever. Ooh, this is a big one. If you were dropped on a desert island with just one survival tool, what would it be? A hatchet. You ever read that book, Hatchet, by Gary Polson? That kid does literally everything with the hatchet. He's like, I need fire. The hatchet creates fire. It's amazing. Read it. I definitely read it. Ooh, definitely read it. Recommended. Get your AR goal up today.
Did you say yeet? Your AR goal up?
Yeet. Why? Why? This is like the second why question that's just been why. But my question is, why did you use this much paper when you were only going to use that much of it? When we could have just recycled this. Why don't you recycle? I made a whole political piece on the recycle. Here, I'll show you. Look at the political statement that's being shown here. The man, he's got his bottle, but because the trash can's closer, he decides to throw the bottle into the trash can instead of recycling. This could have been recycled. We gotta recycle. We gotta help our environment. Why don't you recycle? Don't be like this man. No one wants to be like this man. Recycle. It's the better choice. How do I tame a horse in Minecraft? Well, first you need to get a saddle. And now you can't craft saddles, so that means you're gonna have to go into a dungeon and find a saddle. So you gotta find a saddle. Then you need to get on the horse, and you gotta ride the horse at the same time while you're trying to tame it, because it's gonna try to buck you off, so you just gotta stay on that horse. Eventually it will tame. Now once you tame the horse, you need to use that saddle, because you can tame the horse, but you can't actually ride it until you get the saddle. So you need the saddle to tame the horse. All these newbies think that they can tame it without the saddle. You need the saddle to tame the horse. Duh.
Everyone knows that.
Thank you for watching Clay's Question Corner, where we answered all of the knowledge of everyone on whoever existed on Earth combined. If you'd like the box to come straight to you, make sure you sign up on the question box sign-up sheet, and the box will come straight to you. Also, follow me on Twitter at @AClay_a_man, and I'll get all your questions answered over there. So I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye.
And I hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching this week's episode of FDN. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like the video, make us YouTube famous, probably not. And we hope to see you next week for more.